Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. 2-Bit Crypto here. Now, today is the day. Are we going to get an ETF launch or not? Is it all just speculation, or is there some truth into what people are talking about? Well, let's take a look at exactly what is on the cards. And ultimately, are we going to get it today? What's going to happen to the price of Bitcoin? All of that in this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything going on in the cryptocurrency space, and smash that like button. It does help out the channel. And with that being said, let's take a look at exactly where the market is right now. So 1.66 trillion. We actually did get a sell-off about midnight for me. That's the Asian markets opening back up, and a lot was sold. Bitcoin was on a pretty big rally, broke 44, but has subsequently pulled back. 43,635, up 1% in the last 24 hours. You can see there the total global market cap at 1.66, and our volume is down. This tells me people are waiting. Now, we did get another $1 billion minted out of Tether yesterday, so you can see that volume there at 58.2 billion. What does that mean? Well, ultimately, that means liquidity being pushed into the market, people speculating and looking to pick up some absolute bargains. The rest of the market is down on the last 24 hours. We'll see how this all plays out. From midnight, for me, we are seeing a little bit of a green candle. A couple performing decently, Shiba Inu getting a bit of a run, but the rest of the market is still, unfortunately, sitting in the red. So what are we talking about? And ultimately, where are we going to get to? Well, ETFs. It's the big hype right now. We saw that massive dump on that Matrix report that ultimately, in my opinion, was a lot of nonsense. But we are in a world now where we do think we are going to get them today. Particularly this coming from Coin Edition. Says Bloomberg analyst James Safran dismissed rumors regarding the SEC's Bitcoin ETF approval on Friday. The analyst asserts that the regulators will issue the approvals only next week. Fox Business Report remains skeptical about the immediate approval of Bitcoin ETFs. Now, this is the kind of crazy thing. We see a real divide in whether we see them a lot. I think a lot of people want them today. Whether that comes to fruition, I don't know. A lot of people are obviously January 8th, January 10th was always the date that it was set, the approval date deadline being January the 10th. But this is an interesting article with a couple of bits in here that are kind of worthwhile. It says lots of noise about tomorrow. Sticking to this, I'm not expecting official Bitcoin ETF approval orders until tomorrow. Until January the 8th and January the 10th. Collaborator Tenet's words, Safran commented, my view is in line with Eleanor Terrett's reporting, repeating that the regulators would begin signaling ETF approvals only by next week. He added that the gap between approval orders and trading would be counted in weeks and not in days. What's interesting, though, is everybody seems to think on crypto Twitter that we are going to see these launches, to the point where there was actually some documents or some words coming out from Grayscale yesterday in which they said we are signing some papers. Now, obviously from the SEC, this is kind of where we would see it on the paper, on the website where we see these releases. We'll just click refresh. You never know, it might have happened while we're recording this video. Not to be the case. This is where I think it will be released first. The SEC will obviously give that information that they are going to approve them. 2 different points here. They will approve before they go trade and expect maybe a week, even 2 in between the 2 parts as everything gets done and finalized. But it's important to reference the SEC would have to come out first. This for me is the only place you're going to get this source of information, because everyone else at the minute, like I said, when you do go through crypto Twitter, everybody's speculating. You see this one, Jeffrey Salmon updates January the 10th. We then see here rumors that the SEC will approve on Jan 5th. Jan 5th obviously being today. And I guess the target of 51k for a Bitcoin ETF news is trending on crypto Twitter as well, as is the SEC. So you can tell there is a real pent-up demand for these ETFs. We'll have to kind of wait and see what happens with that. Equally, we are obviously expecting to see what happens with the Fed. Now, a lot of people believe we are in for some rate cuts. I'm not so sure. It definitely looks like we'll stay flat, potentially then looking into Jan. All of this does make a difference in terms of whether the SEC approves these ETFs or not. Now, bear in mind, ETFs are for institution. They are not for retail. That is a different point to reference. So a lot of people, although would be excited about it, would potentially even leverage themselves in buying more Bitcoin. This is ultimately for institutions, and like I said, not for the retail investor. Likewise, we do obviously continue to get Form 8As signed up. Valkyrie Bitcoin Fund here, they're also part of it as well. So everything at the minute points to yes, the ETFs are going to be approved. The big question, like we said, is why. I, for one, do hope we see it today. I think it'd be fantastic going into the weekend. I think the price action could be incredibly volatile if we're not to get an ETF launch, but we'll see what happens. You can see here on the Bitcoin price, this was the morning when we started this big red candle here. We actually were having a pretty good ride all the way up to 44 8, and then a big push down. Now you see the Bollinger Bands there are quite wide, as that gives us a significant amount of price volatility. You can see the rest of the market, Ethereum down 1%, XRP down to 57 cents. Who would have thought that? But the market once again showing signs of recovery. Everything hinging on this ETF news. I'm interested to know what you think though. Do you think we're getting the ETF launches today? Let me know down in the comments. Type yes if you think they're coming, and type no if you don't. As ever, thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. It does help out the channel massively, and I'll see you guys all later on today. Take care.